going on, everyone? It's Click Racer here. I haven't made a video in a while, a proper video, and especially I haven't made a collecting related video. So I wanted to take the time to make a quick overview of my current collection as of 2026. So I'm not going to go into deep detail about every single game or piece of equipment, but I'm going to quickly go through everything, and anything that I don't adequately cover you can comment on, and maybe we'll go back over in another video. But let's get started. So here we have my big Sony Trinitron. This is my main TV that I use. It's massively heavy. It weighs like over 200 pounds. Here's sort of a view of the whole room, or the side of the room with the games. This is sort of a view of all the shelving that I've been using for a long time. Here we have some of the stuff that I keep. It's boxed, oddly shaped or large box stuff that I keep on top of the shelves. I have two Atari 5200 consoles. I have one 4-port one and one 2-port one, and they're both boxed, oddly enough. There's my Master System box, my Intellivision box, which you've seen if you've watched any of my older videos. I've talked extensively about them in the past. Here's some of my box Nintendo stuff, Nintendo 64, some Famicom games that I have. I'm not super into N64, but I do have quite a bit of it. Just through the course of collecting over the years is my NES collection that I have. You can pause it if you want to see any of the specific titles. You can pause it and look at them. They're visible, you know. There's some good ones in there. I mean, I don't have the most expensive games necessarily, but I do have a lot of the cool ones for NES. Down in the bottom of this shelf, I keep a lot of miscellaneous cables or power bricks and that type of thing. Here's some boxed Super Nintendo stuff and some floppy disks I keep around. Here's SNES manuals, Super EverDrive. I have some boxed Famicom and some loose, Super Famicom, boxed Super Famicom and loose Super Famicom stuff. My Game Doctor 3, which, if you don't know, is a sort of a piracy device. Here's some of my other loose Super Nintendo cartridges. This is probably my largest collection of any console. I do have quite a few Super Nintendo games. There's quite a few of the good ones in here. I think I have a pretty good Super Nintendo collection, although I am still collecting for it. My collecting has kind of cooled off over the years a little bit, but you know, I pick things up here and there when I get a chance to. Of course, it's harder to find Super Nintendo games nowadays compared to how things used to be. I have 3 SNES consoles, one of them's Japanese. Here's my other 2 Super Nintendo piracy devices, the Game Mars Super Disc and Super Pro Fighter X2. That's the Game Doctor. I already showed that, so not sure what I'm doing there. And here's my Sega Master System collection. I do have a decent amount of Master System games. I do hope to get more in the future. They're another one that either they're in bad condition or you just don't see them too often. One of my Saturns. I have 2 Saturns. Here's some of my Game Boy stuff. I'm not a giant Game Boy collector, but I do enjoy some Game Boy games. They're kind of cool. My loose Genesis cartridges. And then here underneath we have my boxed Genesis stuff. And then Atari 2600. Atari 5200, Intellivision. I have a lot of boxed Intellivision games. I don't know, I'm fascinated by pre-Nintendo stuff. I really do enjoy the Atari 5200. I think it's a cool system. Here's some of my 6th generation stuff. My other Saturn that I have. I have a decent amount of 6th gen stuff. GameCube is probably my favorite 6th generation system, but it's not something I actively collect for. My PC Engine and TurboGrafx stuff and Saturn stuff. There's my PC Engine Duo R that I recapped myself. Here's my Sega CD collection. And I do own a Neo Geo AES from Japan, and I have a few games, and I have a Neo SD Pro, which is an amazing accessory. Here's a antique chest that I keep some of my random stuff in. You know, I have the Atari trackball in there, and I have some VHS tapes. And then over here I have where I keep all my controllers. Not every single one, but quite a few of them. I mean, it fits a lot of controllers. And yeah, that's basically it. I mean, that's a brief overview of my current collection. As you can see, it has evolved over the years. I'm still collecting, although not always actively. So yeah, if you have any questions or you would like me to dive in about the specific PC Engine games I have, or talk about the Neo SD or anything like that, just feel free to ask any questions. And I might just make one of those videos anyways, because I'm kind of having fun doing this video and doing videos. So yeah, I hope to see you guys in the next video, and thank you very much if you stuck around this long. I mean, I haven't made a video in a long time, so thank you very much for sticking around, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. I'll catch you later.